Hi there, I'm Vincent Boss and I provide dating and self-improvement advice. And in today's podcast, we're going to be discussing Make Your Ex Regret the Breakup. I provide audio coaching to help people try and get their ex back or get a new girlfriend or boyfriend. Check out my website for more details. www.dateme.tips. Please check your spam and junk folders if you are expecting an email from me. So now let's get back into today's podcast. And today we are discussing Make Your Ex Regret the Breakup. So if you have been dumped and want to try to get your ex back, you want to make your ex regret the breakup. But how do you do this? In today's podcast, I give 3 pieces of advice regarding things you can do to increase the chance of your ex regretting dumping you. So let's get straight into this, and point number 1 is apologize if necessary. So it's really important that we underline if necessary. If you have been dumped, then you're naturally going to be feeling more desperate. You're naturally going to be feeling that you would do anything to try to get your ex back, and therefore you might think, you know what, I'm going to apologize for this, this and this, even if you have no reason to apologize. Now don't get me wrong, the fact that your ex has lost romantic emotional attraction for you and became the dumper does suggest there is a strong likelihood that you made mistakes. But guess what, we're all human. I make mistakes, you've probably made mistakes, your ex has also no doubt made mistakes. None of us are perfect, we are all human, and therefore we have to really differentiate between mistakes that you need to apologize for and mistakes that you don't. You may have been dumped for something which wasn't even your fault at all. You know, this could be something completely different and a completely different reason as for why the relationship ended. However, as I said, we have to acknowledge, we have to take accountability, that you would have likely made at least some errors because we're all human and we all do that. But whether or not these errors, these mistakes are things you should be apologizing for, well, it depends on what they are. Now, probably the most obvious thing you need to apologize for is if you cheated on your now former partner. If your dumper became a dumper and you became their dumpee due to the fact that you cheated on them, they found out and they ended the relationship, then this is something that you certainly need to be apologizing for. If you cheated on your ex, if you cheated on your now former partner and that is why they ended the relationship, that is something huge that you must say sorry for. How on earth could your ex ever regret the breakup if you cheated on them and never apologized? Okay, I'm sure you can see this right now, that if you cheated on your former partner and that is why they ended the relationship, you must apologize. And if you haven't done this yet, if you haven't done this since the breakup has been finalized, then I would suggest this is one of those rare instances where as a dumpee, I suggest you reach out to your now dumper even before they reach out to you. 9 times out of 10 or 99 times out of 100, I'll probably be saying to you, I believe that you should never contact your ex again unless they contact you first if you are the dumpee, but this is one of those rare instances. Other examples of where you may need to reach out to your ex if you haven't apologized already is if you have deceived your now former partner in other potential ways, maybe involving money, for instance. Now, if you feel a bit confused about this, if you want my advice and you're specific in your unique situation, then you may want to consider my audio coaching service. You know, because this is where we speak one-on-one, we can discuss things in a way which isn't generalized and is more aligned with your position. I will give my hints, tips, advice, and strategy, what I believe will give you the best possible chance of success. And this could differ from the generalized content that I put out there. But as I said, this is a podcast, this has to be somewhat generalized, and therefore I'm going to be saying, if you've cheated on your now ex, if you've deceived your now ex in a serious way, potentially involving money, or other ways which you see when you think about things logically are more than just a minor misdemeanor, then you probably need to be reaching out and apologizing. Somebody won't regret dumping you if they don't think you're even sorry for hurting them in a way that they ended the relationship. So think about this logically, seriously, and if you need more support and advice on this, consider contacting me via my website www.dateme.tips. So now let's get into point number 2 and the second point of today's podcast about make your ex regret the breakup. And point number 2 is fix, grow and improve. So when we are speaking about these 3 elements, we'll take them one at a time. And firstly, fix. So when I say fix, I mean fix the faults, such as the things that you may have done to cause romantic emotional attraction to be lost. This might not necessarily seem as obvious as in point number 1. In point number 1, I'm saying if you cheated on your former partner, you must apologise. But what if you were too possessive? What if you were too needy? What if you were too jealous? They are some examples of what you may have not apologised for at the time, and perhaps I don't believe you should be reaching out after the breakup to do so, because let's think about this logically. If you've been dumped because you were too needy, then reaching out to your ex after they have dumped you is probably not going to come across very well because it is showing you in a needy light. What I'm saying instead is to try to fix these problematic things regarding yourself via multiple different options. For instance, if you are somebody who is overly jealous or possessive, you may want to consider counselling. If you have counselling and work through the difficulties that you've had perhaps in your past, this is likely to be something which could really help your future. If and when your ex contacts you in the future, you need to be showcasing yourself in the best possible way, and therefore if you can fix and solve some of these problems which cause romantic emotional attraction to be lost, then if and when they contact you, they will see that you are a changed person and therefore somebody that they may regret ending a relationship with. You might receive a text from your ex and at that point, they haven't decided if they want to reconnect or not. They're kind of testing the water and seeing how you behave. This is something which can be very important if you have things that you need to be fixing and improving. And this leads into the next element where I'm speaking about growth and improvement, because this is where I always suggest that you move towards becoming a version 2.0 of yourself. You were a version 1 where you attracted your ex originally. Now you need to be a version 2.0 to re-attract them, because unfortunately the version which was dumped is not a version that they want to be with. You must improve in every single way. I suggest doing everything from going on more walks to really enhancing your educational skills at the local college and everything in between. Every type of improvement is necessary, small or large, and you should be doing this every single day. Whether you want to learn a new language, whether you want to be somebody who now knows how to play a musical instrument, whether you want to learn how to cook, these again are just some of the infinite examples of how you can grow and improve as a person. Now, this isn't just helpful if your ex contacts you, but this could be something which re-attracts them initially, and therefore regret could be felt due to things they find out about you. Now, most of the time I don't suggest a dumpee reaches out to their ex, the dumper, but what you can do is get things across to them in different ways, such as social media. Even if you and your ex aren't connected on social media, you are likely to have friends or family who are linked between you, friends of friends. If you post positive posts about you improving, things are likely to get back to your ex. Maybe you are still connected and they will see them directly, but even if you aren't, friends of friends, family members, other people will likely pass this message on, and exes seem to have an uncanny ability to find out things about you even when you think it's impossible. So whether or not you feel you have things that you need to be fixing, I am certainly suggesting that you have things you can improve upon. None of us are the perfect person. I'm trying to improve every single day, and so should you be. As I said, it could be as simple as going on an extra walk every day to what you do already, or it could be something as large as trying to really change your career, your business, your education. These are the types of things which can make a huge difference, big and small. Improving your health and fitness will have a byproduct of making you more physically attractive. Improving your creativity, your education, your ambition, they are all attractive things. And therefore, whether this is seen on social media or whether it becomes apparent if and when your ex contacts you just to see how you're going, this can be something which ultimately makes your ex regret the breakup. Always remember that your ex will likely reach out to you via an indirect, direct approach. If they're going to do so, it's not likely that a dumper is going to reach out and say, I miss you instantly. They're more likely to reach out about something which doesn't really seem as genuine as you might think. Maybe they reach out to you randomly and say, I've just found out that your favourite band is in town next month. I just wanted to let you know that. Okay, that is something which is an direct approach. It's indirect because ultimately that is not why they are messaging you. They are messaging you because they want to see how you are, and they want to see if they are feeling enough attraction and vibe with you right now, but it is direct because they are directly messaging you. So although it is possible that your ex may regret their decision and reach out to you because of that, they may also reach out to you because they're just starting to wonder about you. The regret might not be in full force, and therefore you need to be making sure that you do everything you can to reattract your ex, whether it is via social media, whether it is when they reach out to you, whether it is any way, shape or form. Just think of this, for instance, maybe you have work colleagues or friends of friends that you see in person, and they will pass on your improvements to your ex. Anything is possible. Make sure you are prepared. So now let's get into point number 3 and the final point of today's podcast about make your ex regret their breakup. And point number 3 is date better. I've spoke to many dumpers and I've asked them the question, if you found out your ex was dating somebody else, how would you feel? And the vast majority of responses I got was along the lines of, I would feel a level of jealousy. Now this might surprise dumpees because you're thinking, well, you ended the relationship, why are you jealous? But this is a human response. This is something which happens to people when they feel that potentially they've made a mistake. If you are dating somebody new, this is social proofing that you are a dateable individual. Now, what can heighten this further is if you date better than your ex. Now, you might think that's impossible. You might date somebody and think they are not better than my ex. But if you make sure that they are in one way, shape or another, this is something which can really add that extra pull. Now, you might be wondering now, well, how will my ex even find out? Well, I've already mentioned friends of friends and family members. I've also mentioned social media. I'm not saying that you should be going on a date and instantly posting about it online in a way which offends your date or is so obvious that it is aimed at your ex. But what I am saying is that if you go on a few dates with somebody, if you go out to parties, if you go out to clubs, if you're just living your life to the full, then social media might naturally start to showcase you mixing in new circles, possibly showing you dating somebody else. If you date somebody else but you're still thinking you really want your ex back, I would always suggest that you're honest with this new person to a point. You don't want to be leading them on, but it's also not going to help you if you say, look, I'm just with you until my ex comes back. What I suggest instead is that you say something along the lines of, look, I'm not long out of a breakup. I'm not really sure what I'm after right now. I'm just wanting to kind of go with the flow and see how things develop. If you're non-committal like that, you are likely to be able to date whilst also leave yourself the opportunity to end the short-term connection if necessary. I don't suggest you say to somebody new you're looking for long-term if you don't feel that way, but there is no reason to say that you're thinking of your ex 24/7. You shouldn't even be mentioning them. So if you do this and if you start dating somebody new, then make sure that this is somebody who your ex may start to perceive as a better version than them. Maybe this is physically, maybe this is educationally. At the end of the day, if you improve yourself like in point number 2, then you will have the opportunity to date better. I've already said you attracted your ex at version 1. That was your version 1 attraction net that you threw out to the sea and you attracted your ex. If you become a version 2.0, your attraction net is larger. Throw that out to sea and you'll be able to attract better quality people. If you do this, even if in your heart you don't think they are better, if some of the elements seem to be better to other people, if and when this gets back to your ex, they will feel like they have made an error. Because of course, how on earth could they have dumped you if they now look at an image and think, wow, they look better than me. My ex is dating somebody who looks more attractive than me. My ex is dating somebody who seems more intelligent than me, based upon the information that could be given. Maybe they're more creative, etc., etc. If your dumper feels that you are dating better than them, that will really pull on their jealousy and make them much more likely to regret the breakup. Then, if and when you hear from your ex, you can make a decision based on your own moral standing about what you want to do with this current dating option. I would always suggest that you keep moving forward in a way until you find somebody that you truly believe is better than your ex, and therefore you have the perfect choice. It's win-win. You either get your ex back or you are dating somebody even better. If you believe that this podcast has helped you, then please consider buying me a coffee. The link to do so is in the description.
Yeah, if you miss your ex, we can help with that. Help you get him back, or we can help find you someone else. Yeah, Vincent, the relationship coach, giving you some insight, bringing you a new approach. DateMe.tips, go and check the site, giving you advice, helping with your love life. Get your ex back, or move to the next. Ain't no sweat, you know Vincent got you. Finding love ain't no problem. Yeah, DateMe.tips, check it out now.